Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today it is Friday, July 25th, so I thought we would do my spending check-in for this week. We mostly track our spending like Sunday to Saturday-ish, I guess. Most of the time we're really tracking Monday through Friday spending because we typically don't spend anything on the weekends. I know that's probably backwards for a lot of people, but normally we are go, go, go during the week and we just want to hang out on Saturday and Sunday. So I don't anticipate any more spending today at least. So we're going to go from Monday through Friday this week because we didn't spend anything last Sunday. And I also have my highlighters here because I'm going to highlight my expense tracker here. I mostly use YNAB, which is You Need a Budget, for tracking our expenses. I do manually track all of our expenses in YNAB. I know that I can connect our bank accounts to where YNAB will do it for us, but this is kind of my hybrid method between the Budget Mom, which is all manual, writing everything down, doing the pen and paper budgeting, and having that electronic convenience. This is kind of our hybrid method of doing it that works for us, where we use YNAB for setting targets and goals and having some of the calculations be electronic, but we are manually tracking our expenses into YNAB so that we can really be mindful about where our money is going. That's helpful for us. It also makes us check our bank accounts every day, which is also helpful to just stay on top of where our money is going. So anyway, this is going to look a little weird only because I do have this budget by paycheck workbook, but I'm not actively using the entire workbook. But to make these videos, I'm just going to kind of copy everything from YNAB over to paper so that I can have this as well for you guys. So let's go ahead and start with Monday. Monday, we did not start off strong. I had this Quip refill come out, which this is my electronic toothbrush head and refill of toothpaste. They had sent me an email last week and told me that I needed to cancel or change my subscription if I wanted to change it, and I completely forgot about it. So they charged me. This is a quarterly expense. It's not monthly, it's quarterly. But I don't need this, or at the very least I need to drop it down to where it's not sending me toothpaste every 3 months, because that's something that we can get for cheaper elsewhere. But we did have that household expense of $72 and 22 cents. So that came out. We covered this with our toiletries and household category, and then there was a little bit of an overage, so I just covered it with my own personal spending in YNAB since I had like $25 in there. But later on that day, my husband was out of town for work this week, so he needed to get his haircut, so he went to Great Clips and got that done, and that was $23. So that's it for Monday. So we didn't go anywhere on Monday. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did we go to the museum on Monday? If we did go anywhere on Monday, it was free. We didn't pay to go anywhere on Monday. And then Tuesday the 22nd, we had my husband's YouTube Premium came out. I also have YouTube Premium, but I am still on my parents' family YouTube Premium plan, so shout out to them. They're great. Thank you for letting me hang out. And my husband has the student discount, so it was only $8.59 for his. And then we have 2 transactions this day that were free. Okay, so I'm going to explain. This was a children's consignment store that we had consignor credit at. So my son saw this fire truck toy that he really wanted, and it's by a brand that we really like. And it ended up being $10.24, but we did not pay for that out of pocket. I was able to use my store credit that was on my consignor account from where I've taken some of his old clothes that don't fit him anymore to the store to have credit as people have bought things. But anyway, long story short, that was free. And then we also needed to go to Target because my son is really hard on his water bottles. He loves to chew them and they end up getting destroyed very quickly, so he needed new water bottle again. So we went to Target, and let me actually see, where are my receipts, because what else did we get at Target? We got some other stuff. I have my receipt here. Okay, so we got his 2 cups. They were like the Zach Designs bluey cups. And then we got, Cat and Jack have these reusable snack pouches, and so we got another set of those for $3. And then Mondo Llama had their markers and colored pencils, and we needed new ones. We didn't need, I wanted to get new ones. So all told, it came to $19.49, and then I had a 20% off store-wide coupon, so I just went ahead and used that because there's no sense in holding on to it for like a bigger purchase in case we don't go to Target again. So that took $3.90 off the price. Long story short, it was $16.76 for everything, but I had a $25 gift card to Target from Fetch, so that ended up being nothing. So we were able to get his new water bottles and that toy that he saw and wanted for free. So both of those transactions cost us nothing out of pocket, which was amazing. Next up is Shell for gas. So this is my husband's gas to get to work. He has to work out of state occasionally. So there's that. BP, that's my gas. So this was my husband's gas. This was my gas for the $20.94. I drive a little Corolla. He drives a Santa Fe, so that's why it's so much more expensive. So getting into Wednesday the 23rd here, we got gas, and then we went to Aldi. We went to Aldi for the first time. You guys, I don't know why. I do not know why we had not gone to Aldi beforehand. We are not brand specific about most things, and we went to Aldi and I got some steak because I really wanted steak burrito bowl. So we got steak, baby carrots, lettuce, some sour cream, blueberries because my child is an absolute fiend. This pre-made mushroom risotto packet that looked incredible. Normally I wouldn't buy it pre-packaged. I would just try to make it myself, but it looked amazing. It was only $1.69, so I was like, yes, we'll take it. A thing of cheese, and $3.95 for a bottle of wine. Guys, I was so shook. Everybody always talks about how Aldi is this incredible place, and I don't know why we never took the time to go out and do it. So long story short, this was everything we needed for groceries for this week, $24.17. Are you kidding me? So needless to say, Aldi is now my new favorite place on earth. So that was Wednesday. And then Thursday was a great day, you guys. My son and I, we basically hung out because we have been working on potty training. So the only thing that came out on the 24th is Spotify, because we were at the house all day. We watched the Cars movie on Disney Plus, which we don't pay for Disney Plus because we're still on my parents' plan for that. And basically hung out at the house and read books and had a fun time. And then that brings us to today. So this morning, my husband was done with work, so he got gas one more time so that he could head back here. And then my son and I went to Aldi. Let's see, and then this was a little bit of an impulse spend. I can't even lie, you guys. We did need more blueberries. Yes, we have to buy blueberries multiple times a week. If you have a toddler, you know, they love their berries. So my son was very upset this morning when we had no more blueberries because he had eaten all of the blueberries between like 48 hours. Yes, it's a thing. My boy loves his blueberries, which I don't want to discourage that because he's eating fruits and vegetables, so we're gonna do it. And then we got more cheese because my son and I both love to have cheese as like a snack. And it's really cheap at Aldi, and we're not planning to go to Costco again until after the 1st of the month. And then this was the impulse buy, you guys. $2.89 for these freezer like crinkle cut potatoes that we can throw in the air fryer. I don't know why. I could have talked myself down from this. This was not a need in any way, shape, or form, but we have been doing so well with our grocery budget this month. Like, let me pull up Wine App really quick because I was shocked when I was doing the reconciling. We have spent, hold on, I gotta scroll to it here. We have spent $131.94 this entire month on groceries. $131 for our family of 3 for this entire month. 25 days worth of food at the grocery store, we spent $131. So I was feeling really good about our grocery spend, so I did splurge on the $2.89 prize. But I feel really good about the fact that we've been able to keep our cost so low for groceries. This used to be such a pain point for us, and we have gotten so smart and so savvy about the way that we are grocery shopping, and I'm so proud of us. Yeah, I'm super proud. I do want to say one more thing about the grocery thing really quick before we like zoom past it, is that we do most of our grocery shopping at Costco, which I did not start our kind of budgeting. We started like the second week of July is when we started doing this. So the Costco haul for July was not tracked in YNAB this month. So you'll see that in August when we go to Costco. Costco is where we get diapers, wipes, household items, all of our bulk meat, things like any prepackaged food that we get at Costco because you can get a ton of it. One of our favorite things to get at Costco is a pack of the like freezer pizzas, because when we are feeling lazy and don't want to have to cook something, that is a really cheap way to have a meal ready to go that we can just throw in the oven. It's a lot cheaper than buying the frozen pizzas at, you know, your regular grocery store. But I just want to say, like, $131 is not feeding us. It's mostly Costco, and then we also do receive WIC. So WIC is the Women's, Infants, and Children's Program, so that covers a lot of our fresh fruits and vegetables. We get milk, bread, one large container of cheese, as well as some other things like peanut butter. You know, we can choose between peanut butter, beans, or peas. So we do tend to get a little, like, we have assistance in that way, and then we really try to use WIC first to make sure that we're not leaving any of our WIC benefits on the table. And then we have a pretty strict budget when we go to Costco, and then we have a deep freezer and we use a lot of that. So just as an aside for this, and you'll see this when I go over our August budget closer to time, so that you have more of an idea of how we plan our grocery spending. So this $131 for the whole month is just what we are getting outside of Costco and WIC at the grocery store, which I still think is pretty impressive. But like, food prices are out of control, and I don't want anybody to look at that and be like, how in the freaking world are you doing that? But anyway, that's all we spent. That was a little long-winded rant about my newfound obsession with Aldi, basically. And my son and I did make these alongside like a little fruit. We had like a fruit and veggie like charcuterie plate. I call it toddler charcuterie, where I just put a bunch of stuff on a plate for my toddler to eat. And we did have the fries at lunch, and they were amazing. So well worth the $2.89, and we still have like 3/4 of the bag left. So all in all, I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, anyway, that is everything that we spent this week. So not terrible, not the best, not the worst. Sorry, I realized I forgot to total everything up on my calculator before I just started rambling, but all told this week we spent $180.59, which I am so proud of us for that. We didn't have any of our super big expenses. Oh, you know what I didn't put on here? Wait. Okay, well, we did have one more bill come out. Our dental insurance came out today. I forgot it's the 25th, so even though it hasn't posted yet, it's somewhere in there, and that will be $86. Hold on a moment, I'll tell you. Yeah, $86.47. So that's also an aside. I totally forgot that today was the 25th, so that's scheduled to come out. So $86.47 for our dental insurance that comes out on the 25th. Okay, so add that. So $86.47. Okay, so total, it's actually going to be $267.06. But again, considering our dental insurance bill is a good chunk of that, I'm content with that. My husband did an amazing job of meal prepping for going out of state. So he was up, put up in a hotel, and then works during the day. And he did a great job of meal prepping before he went, so that we could keep costs as low as possible, so he wasn't eating out for every single meal. I think he said he paid cash and ate out today on the way home. He called me a little bit ago and said that he had a 20 on him, so he paid paid for his fast food with cash. But yeah, I'm really proud of us. That is going to be my spending overview for this week. I'm going to stop rambling now and edit this video so I can get it out to you guys. But yeah, I hope everybody had a good week with budgeting. Let me know what's going on in your budget in the comments. If you had a good week, if you had a not so good week, if you are just struggling with overspending in one category or struggling to keep costs low somewhere else, feel free to share it in the comments, and we can help kind of crowdsource if you need advice or help. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.